Hello and welcome to the Win911 technical webinar for February 2019. Today we'll be discussing updates for our GE product line. A quick rundown of today's agenda. The primary focus of this webinar is to present the differences between version 7 and the new codebase, the standard, interactive, and advanced license. From there, we'll talk about what we did in 2018 and what we have on the plans for 2019 for iFIX and CIMPLICITY. A new feature we plan to release this year is our new Win911 mobile app. I'll talk through the new feature and what it looks like and some of the differences and how you can access our beta program. From there, we'll walk through our technical resources, including our knowledge base articles, documents, and how-to videos. To wrap things up, I'll talk about how you can access our support and why you would need our technical support program. For those of you who are going back and watching this webinar again, it will be available on our YouTube channel. It's also posted on win911.com under Resources Webinars. Inside of our YouTube channel in the comments section, there's shortcuts to different parts of the video if you plan to skip ahead. Getting started here, let's talk about the product comparison of the new codebase Win911 on 3 license levels: standard, interactive, and advanced. So this product is now a runtime all the time. It's a browser-based configuration, which means that you no longer need to restart if you save any changes or updates. You can save them and they're automatically applied to the configuration. We also have schedules that we also did updates to our schedules, so now it's a Google or Outlook type of calendar you can use to configure your schedules for your operators or engineers, whoever is on call. And we have support for alarm filters. And alarm filters are a dynamic means of bringing your alarms into Win911. Instead of having the import, we also have a filter method, and we'll talk through that during this webinar as well. The new codebase also supports our latest notifications, including your voice over IP, our smartphone apps, SMS, and Ethernet, or an SMS over Ethernet. Finally, we have advanced alarm escalation. This is something that would be similar to sketching up on a whiteboard of call this person, notify this person, go here, and we'll show you that during this webinar as well. So the 3 codebases, standard, interactive, and advanced, regardless of which license you use, the alarm filter count is always unlimited. And we support virtualization. Now the main difference, standard, interactive, and advanced. Standard is our base license. In standard, you have access to our SMS and our email notifier for one way only. This means that you can receive your alarms, you cannot remotely acknowledge. If you would like to remotely acknowledge, then you would be interested in at least the interactive license. On the interactive license, you have access to all of the notifiers, including your SMS, email, voice, smartphone. These are all available on the interactive. Finally, in the advanced license, we have access to advanced tactics and strategies. This is something if you're to sketch up on a whiteboard, or notify this person, and so on down the list. It's an advanced method of calling out, and I'll show a demo of how you do this. In the advanced, if you're using the smartphone, you can now have up to 25 smartphone app users. Also with the advanced, you can push reports out if an alarm event happens. On these next few slides, I'll talk through the differences between version 7 and the new code base. First of all, version 7 was very limited on your scheduling. However, now with the new code base, we have a flexible Google or Outlook type of calendar where you can create a schedule and then assign that to a specific user. So if a person goes on or off shift, you can change your schedule. This is very easy and flexible to use. And here's an example. Over here you can create a schedule for day shift, and then you would take this day shift and you would assign it to a specific user. From version 7, you had your phone book. Now in the newer code base, you have contacts. So these contacts, previously they were a group call out that you would do. Now we can take these contacts and we can assign them to a different call out list. Okay, that contact list previously was in a group. We took that and we pointed it to a certain set of alarms. So we had these people, we'd add them to this group, Tom and Wayne, and then we'd take them and group them into a set of alarm call out. Now in the new code base, we have what's called a basic tactic. So here's an example of a basic tactic. We have a couple contacts in our system, Tom and Wayne. These are both voice users. When this tactic or call out happens, we'll go straight down the list. So alarm comes in, we can delay a certain amount of minutes or seconds before the call out. Then we can decide to go ahead and call Tom Jones. If he does not answer, we can go to the next user, straight down the list. This is an example of a basic tactic or a basic call out. You can also mix and match your call outs. So say for example you had a call, then you wanted to try texting him if he did not respond. You can add as many users straight down the list as you'd like. Now, another new piece of terminology is a strategy. These strategies are policies of actions to put in place for your starting, stopping, and re-notifying. These strategies are used to point to your tactic or your call out. So say for example here, you can create a new strategy and give it a name. You can define when to start, stop, and re-notify. So on this one, we will stop the call out if the alarm becomes terminal. Alarm becoming terminal, that would be a state where the alarm is inactive and the alarm has been acknowledged. If the alarm changes states, say for example, the alarm goes from active to inactive or inactive acknowledged, any state change that occurs, we can decide to re-notify. This is user configurable, so you can decide to turn this on or off depending on how you're notifying and your needs for re-notifying on events. We talked earlier during the license comparison about your advanced tactics. These advanced tactics are advanced workflow or callouts. As I explained, these are a marker board or something that you sketch up on a whiteboard for notifying different people and users. This could be based on a tag or a role, severity of an alarm. You can also create different delays and callouts based on schedules. So let's take a look at this different callout. When the alarm comes in, the green dot, we'll check the alarm to see if it's been assigned this label of WTP storage tank alarms. If this is this type of alarm, we go to the right. If not, we go to the left. So let's say yes it is. We can check this alarm for a certain severity. Is it greater than 750? Yes or no? If no, we can wait 10 minutes and then we can start a call out for the operators. Otherwise, if it is, we can start the call out for the operators immediately and notify the managers. There's a lot of different flexibility available in this advanced tactic. However, this feature is only available in the advanced license of Win911. How do we tie this all together? Well, we have our alarms that come in. We'll take these alarms, we'll filter them in, we'll catch these alarms, and then we'll take these alarms and point them to a strategy. This strategy will define our starting, stopping, and re-notifying. That strategy will point to a tactic or a call out. So in this example, we're using alarm filters. So for iFIX, here we can filter on your names or your areas. So for this one, I'm filtering on an area that I assign to a certain alarm that has Win911. So this alarm is caught by this filter. When this alarm is caught by the filter, we take it and we point it to a strategy. In this example, this strategy is called basic maintenance. So we'll point to the basic maintenance strategy. Here, when the alarm state changes, we can re-notify the users. If we re-notify the users, we can stop the strategy when the alarm becomes acknowledged. So if any one of these users go ahead and acknowledge this, or if it's acknowledged over in the SCADA, we will stop the call out. Call out tactic, this is a straight email. We'll notify Frank for 2 minutes, notify Frank again. If he does not respond, go down to the next user, Ryan, and so on and so on. Going back to the schedules we talked about earlier, we can assign these schedules to different people. So say, for example, Frank is on a day shift and Ryan is on an afternoon shift. If this alarm goes off at, say, 9 a.m., Frank would be on the day shift. So we notify him, delay 2 minutes, and then notify him again. Once it gets down to Ryan, Win 911 is smart enough to know that Ryan is on the afternoon shift, so he can be skipped on the call out. So this is an example of using our basic tactics and basic strategies. These basic tactics and strategies are available on any license type. Next, I'll run through a couple of the common version 7 questions that we typically receive at Win 911. The first one, of course, is will Win 911 still sell version 7? The answer is yes, we're still going to continue to sell version 7 because there's certain applications that still require this, depending on the SCADA and the environment. Some plants are late adopters and they still require this, so we still do support version 7. However, we will not be doing any new development inside of version 7. An example of this is for iFIX 6.0. This was just released last fall. This is not going to be supported on version 7. If you need iFIX 6.0 and Win 911, you'll need to use our new license, our standard, interactive, or advanced, depending on your application. The next question is, can I still call Win 911 for technical support on version 7? The answer is, of course, yes, you can still call Win 911 technical support as long as you have a valid support number or a support contract. Finally, how do I upgrade from version 7 to the newer code base? To do this, there's an import utility that you can use. This import utility is included in the new code base. It's part of the package. So if you were to go to our website and complete the 30-day trial download, you can use the import utility to import from version 7 up to the newer code base. There is a catch with the import utility. Not all things are converted, and there is a manual in our document resources portion of our website that talks about what is converted and what is not. Since version 7 was created back in the 90s, some things are on version 7 that will not be supported. One of them being pagers. We don't have pagers available in our newer software. Okay, now let's take a look at iFIX and talk through some of our updates that we did in the past year. So as I alluded to earlier, Win 911 is now supporting iFIX 6.0. However, to use this iFIX 6.0, you'll need to have the latest 3.18.17 or later. iFIX 6.0 is only supported on the newer code base and is not supported on version 7. We also have support for iFIX 5.8 Service Pack 2 R2. However, to do this, there's a certain SIM that you need to get from GE to have this happen. There's an article out there on our knowledge base on win911.com, support knowledge base, that talks about what you'll need to do to connect for iFIX 5.8 Service Pack 2 R2. The next feature we added in 2018 was the heartbeat feature. This is available again on release 3.18.17 or newer. The heartbeat is set up as a way to monitor what is happening with Win 911 and if that connection is still happening to your SCADA. So if this connection is broken, then your SCADA will see it and you can create an action. Just as a reminder, Win 911 also has health alarms available in Win 911. So this is an example. If the alarm queue fails, you can set off a notification inside of Win 911. As we talked about a couple slides back, we have the improved alarm import. So you still have your import alarm method for bringing your alarms over into iFIX or from iFIX into Win 911. Now we have that dynamic means of bringing your alarms over, which is the alarm filter method. This is that filter block where you can decide how you bring your alarms over. Do you filter on your names or your areas, and what's the criteria you'd like to check on for bringing certain alarms over? The nice thing about this is if you add another alarm that meets the same criteria, you do not need to go and do any changes into Win 911. This is a dynamic means of bringing an alarm over. So say, for example, you have a drive fault 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're filtering on a block name named drive fault. Then you add a 6th drive fault. If you already have this set up, Win911 is already looking for that drive fault, so there's no need to do any import or changes into Win911. So these alarms are caught by this filter, and they point to a certain strategy. Oftentimes, users ask us, where can I install Win911 and what's the requirements? Recently, we created some new documentation that talks about where you can install Win911 and gives you more visual representation. These resources are available on our website under Documentation, Resources, and Network Diagrams. This is a quick look at a single iFIX server with a single Win911 system. The idea here is that you can install Win911 on the iFIX view node or on the server node. To do this, you would require one Win911 license. Now, there are other configurations for Win911, including hot backups and redundancies and things like that. Again, I recommend you look at those network diagrams available on our website if you'd like to see more information. Now let's take a look at our updates on CIMPLICITY. For any of our releases, we have what's called our release notes, which are available under win911.com, resources, documentation, release notes. In here, as we create new releases, there's continues to add on all the new features that have been added to the different SCADAs. Currently, for simplicity, Win911 supports version 8.2 and 9.0 of Simplicity. If you're using Simplicity 10 at this time, as of February 2019, you'll need to use an OPC-DA connection to connect to Win911. There are plans to add this connection for Simplicity 10, but as of right now, you'll need to use OPC-DA. In Simplicity this past year, we had some updates to our installer modules, and some of those information is available in our system requirement documentation. Again, let's take a look at our Simplicity recommended architecture. This documentation is also available inside our documentation resources network diagrams. So for Simplicity, similar to iFIX, it's the same concept where you can install Win911 on the client or on the project. In this application, you require one Win911 license, and Win911 must be installed on a local computer running the Simplicity project. A quick comparison for Watchdogs and Heartbeats, because sometimes these are confusing for our users. For our Watchdog, what this is Win911 is looking for a changing value. We're looking for something going in and out of an alarm state to see that this value is changing. If this value does not change after a certain predefined amount of time, then Win911 starts off an alarm. So in a way, Watchdogs are inbound to Win911. We're checking for something coming into us. Now a heartbeat, this feature is only available on iFIX. It's not available yet on Simplicity. But this is just the opposite. Win911 is sending something out. We're outbound. We're sending a continuously changing variable that will count up from 0 to 9. Once it gets back to 9, it'll cycle back to 0. You can check that inside of your SCADA. If you see this variable counting, then you know the connection between Win911 and iFIX is good. If this stops counting, then it's your indication that you need to take action and do something inside your SCADA, knowing that Win911 is not connecting anymore. That heartbeat is dead. A few months ago, we created a webinar that talks just about Watchdogs and Heartbeats. I recommend going back to our webinar page and watching our past webinar called Heartbeats and Watchdogs. Next, I'll show you some of the configuration inside of Win911 for these Watchdogs and Heartbeats. So this is just an example, but I'll walk through some of the descriptions of these tags inside of Win911. Here's where you can give the item a name. Here we called it a PLC heartbeat. And as described for Watchdog, we're checking for a continuously changing value. This is our node where we're connected to. It's just a fixed node. And we have some tag inside of iFIX we're looking at called test alarm 1. We have it set for a timeout of 90 seconds. And when this alarm does go off, where do we point this to? If this alarm goes off, we can point this to the advanced maintenance strategy. We can also add our severity and our labels to this watchdog. So what Win911 is looking for is something to continuously change on and off. If we do not see any changes within this 90-second timeout period, then we'll go into alarm. The next up is the heartbeat. So those heartbeats are outbound of Win911. With Win911, we continue to increment up to 0 through 9. As we do this, we'll send that over to your SCADA. If you stopped seeing us count from 0 to 9, then it's an indication that you need to take action. As you can see here, we are writing this number every 1 minute. So if you don't see changes more than every minute, then it's an indication to stop the connection. Okay, next let's talk about our new Win911 mobile app, which will be coming out later this year. We're very excited to be in the beta test phase of this new product. And what this product is an advancement over our older product. So this product is going to be a completely brand new app. It's not going to be an upgrade app. It will be a brand new app in the App Store or the Android version of the App Store. And here's a quick example of what it looks like inside the app. As you can see, it has a fresh new look where you can see which alarms are coming in. The green means that the alarm is inactive, and the red means the alarm is active. So you have some indication of some alarms that are coming in. One advantage of using the new Win911 mobile app are some security enhancements, and I'll talk through those on the next few slides. One request users often have is, how do I format the alarm so that I have only certain parts of it? Sometimes users want to have the tag name first or the time first. They don't want the full tag name. They want parts of it. They want a certain severity, and so on. Inside the new mobile app, the user can select by themselves and click which parts of the feature they want for the alarm notification and how it will be formatted. Another new feature inside this new app is there's chat. So if alarm is going off, I can chat with Steven, Tom, or Wayne and say, hey, are you working on this? You can chat to each other inside the new app. Another new feature inside the new app, you have visibility to see who has looked at the alarm and who has seen it. So here you can see that Steven has seen the app, Tom and Wayne have not yet seen the app. Another new feature inside the new mobile app is the ability to suspend notifications with our Do Not Disturb mode. What Do Not Disturb mode is, it's a button that you can turn on or off and decide when you would like to be notified. So say for example, I'm on my normal schedule from 8 to 5, but next week I'm going on vacation. Instead of going inside of Win911 to turn off my notification and say, hey, do not notify Steven, you can go into the mobile app and turn yourself on Do Not Disturb mode. Now with this Do Not Disturb mode, as you select Do Not Disturb, it automatically asks you a time to select for when you would like to receive notifications again. Okay, let's talk about security with Win911 Mobile. Previously with our older version of the app called Mobile 911, you're required to punch a hole in your firewall in order to allow Win911 to talk and receive and acknowledge those alarms. This is often a big challenge with IT departments, engineers, and plant administrators who had problems with punching a hole in this firewall. The advantage of this new Win911 Mobile is this is all outbound requested. So as alarm goes off, everything is going up to our Microsoft Azure cloud, and then that is handling all of our authentication. Now this is basically the equivalent of just opening up a web page. If you can do that at your plant, you can handle having Win911 Mobile. There's no more requirements to have IT get involved and asking them to open up firewalls or anything like that, because that can be a big challenge with IT working with OT. Now everything is handled through our Microsoft Azure authentication. Now you're probably wondering, how can I have access to this new Win911 mobile app? We're right now in the process of releasing a beta program, and if you would like to be on the beta program, you can check out this link right here where win911.com, products, mobile 911 beta program, and you can have access to the new beta and test out the new features and see if you like it. Finally, we can wrap things up with our technical support and our resources we have available. Now, as systems integrators or technical people who are often calling in, asking questions, the big question is, why do I need to be on technical support? With technical support, you have access to the latest features and updates. So as we release new features like we did this past year with our Heartbeats and iFIX and advancements for TAPI and other notifiers, these features you have access to download and install on your system. As we talk through the differences between version 7 of Win911 and the new Win911 Interactive and Advanced license, you can now upgrade from version 7 to the Interactive license if you're on support. If you're not on support, you basically have to pay your fees for licensing the interactive software. Now, again, our interactive software is middle license. If you'd like to have the workflow configurable market board type of configuration for a tactic, you need to go up from there to our advanced. The other advantage of being on technical support is you can ask our support experts technical questions. You can write an email, send in your support number, or send in a call, and we can work with you to help any configuration or questions you might have about Win911. Now, if I have a technical question, how do I get started with support? We recommend you go to our support portal, so win911.com, the support tab. There's a support desk portal here. From there, you'll need your end user's support number, and with the support number, you can write up a description of your issue, put in all your contact information, and we'll reach out to you as soon as possible about configuring and troubleshooting your question. Other alternative to our online support is to call in our Austin, Texas-based number, 512-326-1011. Okay, next, let's take a look at our technical resources we have available. In January of this year, we posted 25 new technical articles on our knowledge base, which talk about different parts of our configuration and user-specific questions, startup guides, and so on. We also have how-to instructional videos, which are very product-specific, including SCADA types, configuration, configuring specific notifiers, and so on. We also have this monthly webinar series. There's a couple good videos you might want to go watch, including configuring VoIP, configuring alarm formats, and there's also sales and other types of webinars available that I recommend going back to check out. This is a snapshot of what our knowledge base currently looks like. We have different articles that are filtered by licensing, configuration, troubleshooting, different notifier types, and so on. This is a good starting point if you're looking to configure or troubleshoot or just get started. There's lots of different help information available on our knowledge base. Those how-to videos I was referencing, available on our resources tab. Here's a quick look where you have the videos based on the different license levels, whether you have the standard, interactive, or advanced, or we have information around the version 7 import utility. As you get into the standard, interactive, or advanced, you have different topics based on your notifier, your general configuration, SCADA specific, and so on. That's all. Thank you for attending our Win911 technical update for GE as of February 2019.